1, 2. 1, 2.
All right, good afternoon. My name is David Morse. I'm prosecuting attorney for Livingston County. As many of you know and were present, we just did an arraignment on Raulie Casteel. I have a copy of the complaint here for those of you who would like a copy that will give a list of the charges. This is the result of a lengthy investigation involving members of the state, local, and federal law enforcement authorities. And as you are well aware and have been reporting, is that there have been a number of incidents where vehicles have been shot at or in some cases actually hit. This incident that we are charging arises out of a single incident of those that have been investigated. The remainder of the incidents remain under investigation. There are additional incidences in Livingston County, in Oakland County, Shiawassee County, and Ingham County, I believe. But at least today, the incident that we're charging occurred on Thursday, October 18th, 2012 in Howell Township, approximately 2:43 in the afternoon, on westbound I-96 near the 135 mile marker. That we have charged in a 6-count complaint, Mr. Casteel. I want to reiterate at this time, however, that he remains innocent until proven guilty, or unless proven guilty in the later court proceedings. But these are what has been charged at this point. We have charged 1 count of assault with a dangerous weapon, that being a pistol. It is a penalty punishable up to 4 years in prison and $2,000 fine. He's been charged in another count with carrying a weapon with an unlawful intent, which is a 5-year felony and or $2,500 fine. Third, he has been charged with intentionally discharging a weapon from a motor vehicle, which is a felony punishable by up to 4 years in prison and a $2,000 fine. We have also charged 3 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, which is a mandatory 2-year that precedes any penalty or any time that will be served on the underlying offense. For those of you who were not present during the arraignment, Judge Carol Sue Reeder of the 53rd District Court set a cash bond, or cash or surety bond, in the amount of $2 million. A preliminary exam conference has been scheduled for November 14th at 2 o'clock. The preliminary exam conference is simply an opportunity for the attorneys to get together to meet with the judge, either to make a determination about whether a preliminary exam is going to be held or waived, or whether it will be held during the required 14-day period, and any other issues that may arise. I regret that I will not be able to give you any specific information regarding the factual allegations in this case. The rules promulgated by the Michigan Supreme Court for professional standards for attorneys prohibit me from giving that information to ensure a fair trial for the defendant. And while I'd be happy to answer a few limited questions, I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to give you a lot of factual information with respect to the underlying facts of these charges. We do have a couple of law enforcement officers here who I believe would like to make a few remarks before we answer any questions. So go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm David McCain, Special Agent in charge of the ATF Michigan Field Division. It's a great day for citizens of Southeast Michigan and for law enforcement. We have the individual that we believe to be responsible for the I-95 and M52 shootings. I want to thank all of our task force law enforcement partners standing here behind me for their complete commitment, dedication, and professionalism. The resources and personnel afforded to these shootings were impressive by all the law enforcement counterparts. ATF is proud to stand here with our partners after nearly a month of investigating these incidents with a positive result. Michigan has some of the finest law enforcement agencies and departments in the country. ATF was able to bring federal resources, including numerous ATF agents, the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, which is our automated ballistic imaging technology, and our National Tracing Center to this investigation. In law enforcement, there is constantly another crime, another issue that we must address. Hopefully, we can scratch these senseless shootings off of our to-do list. We all want our citizens to be able to go about their daily lives without fear that has gripped the I-96 and M52 corridor areas for the past month. It is my sincere wish that our citizens will rest easier tonight. Finally, I want to thank the public. We asked you for your assistance and your help, and you came through. And once again, I just want to thank my partners standing up here. It was a tremendous task force. They worked days and nights, weekends, late hours to accomplish this, and hopefully it's going to be a successful prosecution. Thank you.
Any other chiefs or officers like to say anything? Okay, and I would reiterate what was said in that regard. This was a very well-coordinated effort between law enforcement agencies. A lot of cooperation and a lot of time and effort went into this. I would say that there are a number of these incidents that still are not the subject of criminal charges, and the investigation on those instances will be continued to be investigated by the same task force. So I'd be happy to answer or try to answer any questions that you
How
may have.
confident are you that this individual is responsible for all of these shootings? From what you said, it was a little different than what you just said.
I will remind you that he's presumed innocent until proven guilty or unless proven guilty, but we believe strongly enough that we were able to bring these 6 charges forward.
But that he's associated with the others?
With the others, that investigation goes on. I don't really have any comment about whether he was or was not. My understanding is that Oakland County may be expected to charge in the very near future out of some incidents that occurred in Oakland County.
Is someone getting that reward money? You said the citizens helped. Was there a tip from the public and someone getting it?
I'm not involved in the tip process.
We really don't want to go into that right now. We did have a lot of leads, over 2,900 leads. Sorry, we had over 2,950 leads, 2,900 leads. So, we're going to have to vet through all that and come to a conclusion after the investigation is totally complete and make a determination about the reward money. Okay?
But we've been told that he may possibly have an alibi for at least 3 other shootings, including being at his daughter's birthday. So if that is the case, could there be another person out there that is a copycat?
Those allegations are being investigated, and at this point, that investigation is not complete.
But you feel comfortable in telling the public that you believe you have the right guy and they are safe?
I'm comfortable in telling the public on this particular incident that we have enough evidence to warrant the charges that we have filed. I would say that the public should still continue to urge caution or use caution with respect to driving on I-96.
Is there anyone else that can clarify that question, though? Anyone else who's here today that can step forward and talk more about the other incidents?
I don't think that we're prepared to talk about the ongoing investigation.
Are you
Did
still
he talk about
searching
a
for
motive
someone
at all?
else or no?
The investigation is continuing, and if that leads us to looking for yet another shooter, then I'm sure that they would pursue that as well. But at this point, that investigation is ongoing, and we're really not at liberty to discuss the particulars of that or where it's leading.
What about a possible motive? I mean, this guy is college educated. He has no criminal history. Where would this come from?
That is something that we expect will be, we hope will be brought out in court.
How cooperative has he
Mental
been?
health issues that were brought out in court?
I really can't, at this point, there were some allegations there were some statements made by family members with respect to his mental health, and we're looking into that as well.
Has he
at this point, it's pretty big.
Has he been cooperative? And I can see that the family was pretty cooperative on Monday after being searched and everything. So has he been cooperative with questioning?
I can say that, yes, the family has been very cooperative. I cannot really comment on the extent of the cooperation of the defendant.
Can you talk about this weapon, this pistol? I mean, you think he had the weapon?
Was he
And
licensed to
was
have
it a
it?
pistol? I mean, what
It
kind of
was a pistol. I will tell you that it was a 9mm pistol, and that was the weapon that we believe was used to commit the crimes that we have charged.
The female in this case, is she actually from Genesee County? You said it occurred in Howell Township, but was it at 2:40 p.m. on the 18th, and was that the Genesee County one?
I'm not going to, in deference to her privacy, I'm not going to disclose where she's from.
Has she compared him to the picture, the composite that was drawn. I mean, it seems like it was a little different than what people are saying that he, I mean, from what I could see, he looks like.
Once again, I can't comment on what her testimony might be.
Can you talk about what led policemen, how they practice right now?
Well, they threw it, I hate to be too generalized, and I don't mean to be flip about it, but I am constrained by the rules of professional conduct about how much I can tell you, but it was that there were witnesses, and by witnesses I don't mean to say witnesses to the actual event, but there were statements taken by individuals, and the police did a good job of putting things together and reaching this conclusion. So I just can't give you the specifics about what ultimately led to this at this point.
Was he licensed to have a gun?
I believe there was a license. I believe he had a license out of Kentucky to carry a weapon, but he did not have one for Michigan.
However, the task force is still on, like, is still going strong, and it's still searching for a possible person, just in case he isn't the one that did all 24 shootings.
The investigation on this particular incident is largely over on this particular incident. The investigation continues on all other incidents that have been reported to the police.
Can you say that it was led, the investigation really was kind of motivated by the public's help to find this individual? I mean, is that how we can characterize this?
I think that was a factor, yes. It came, there were, the public has been helpful in this. I can't tell you specifically what was said that was helpful, but I think that will ultimately become clear.
Someone or something came forward, someone came forward to indicate that this would be the person to look at.
In part, yes.
Can you expound a little bit on what led to the actual arrest information? Because we have heard that maybe a witness was re-interviewed and gave some additional information.
I cannot comment on that. I can't comment on the specific nature of the evidence that was adduced. I have to wait for that. The rules of professional conduct prohibit me from doing that.
Okay, as a follow-up to David, I just want to ask you, could there be, and maybe I've stepped in late, maybe this is asked, forgive me if it has, but it was on a highway, so could he also face federal charges?
All I can tell you, the feds are here. I know they're reviewing it. I don't know where they are in that process.
Yeah, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District is reviewing it to determine if there's a venue for federal charges. That hasn't been determined yet.
So one doesn't typically, I mean, it could be a variety of charges, right?
Could be.
Correct. He could be, conceivably, legally, he could be charged both at the state level and at the federal level.
Because I understand there's a huge discrepancy on felony firearm from the state level to the federal level.
Yes. And those are all factors that will be taken into account, I'm sure, as the U.S. Attorney will.
And my last thing, not to just, I'm sorry, because I did step in late, but that information that led you to the arrest, did it come from a license plate?
I can't give you that information. I'm sorry.
The maximum penalty on these charges, though, what, 5 years?
That is the highest level, plus the 2 years for the
7 years total is you're looking at if convicted of charging these cases.
Yes, 7 years.
But that, once again, these charges are only solely for the one incident.
Right, that's only one incident.
23 other incidents that are still being looked at that he could possibly be charged for, but you're trying to connect the dots in all of those.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Obviously, since we believe we have the evidence to sustain charges that we have brought here, he remains a suspect in each one of those shootings, and that's part of the investigation. But certainly investigators can't and shouldn't rule out any other possibilities that someone else may have been involved. I'm not saying that someone was or was not, but that certainly is never off the table.
So this is solely for the incident that happened on the 18th?
Correct.
There are 23 other incidents then that are unaccounted for?
Does anybody know the exact number?
24 incidents total.
24.
23 in a car and one on a man walking out.
Last question, we gotta go.
Okay.
He's being held in Livingston County until if there's open county charges.
I would expect he will remain in Livingston County until or unless Oakland County decides to bring charges, and then he would be transferred there. And then presumably transferred back here once for our purposes.
That's it. I'm sorry, we have to go. Thank you very much.